Sunshine, blue skies, gotta cry.
Hi everyone, let's get started. First thing when you are starting out on your roller skate journey is it's worth investing in protective equipment. It will make you feel more confident because we do have a fear of falling, especially when we're learning as adults. So get yourself some knee pads and wrist guards at a minimum. Knee pads can go on over your clothing, or sometimes you may need to put them on before your roller skates. As a rule of thumb, I check that the writing will be the right way up for somebody looking at me. Roller skates can be low cut, high cut, with a heel, without a heel. It doesn't really matter when you're starting. We just tend to say that the more you spend on them, the better quality experience you're going to get. You can probably see that my roller skates are high top and have a heel. I prefer this because I am more on the ball of my feet and I'm able to balance and keep my weight forward a little bit more easily. It's really common to unfasten the laces quite far down compared to trainers, and it's up to you how high you choose to tie them. I don't go all the way to the top of my boots. I stop a couple of eyelets from the top just because I prefer a little bit more ankle mobility. Now for completeness today, I am putting on elbow pads and I'm also going to put on some wrist guards. Now I am a more confident skater now than when I started out, so I don't feel that I need to put pads on every session when I'm skating, but it's important to show you how to put them on. Wrist guards need to have the bulky bumpy part on the palm. It's really common to see people put wrist guards on backwards and upside down, and you shouldn't know how to put them on if you've never put them on before. So now we're ready to start. Let's go. I'm going to demonstrate how to get up off a chair. Tuck your foot all the way under so that your toe stop is hitting the floor, and that will allow you to reach forward so that you can get to the floor. I've just drummed on the floor there just to check how it feels. And now I'm putting all the weight on one knee and I'm going to lean forward so that my weight is over that foot, and that is going to allow me to stand up. Ta-da! When you stand up, please remember to keep your knees bent. The other way of getting up, which is really common if you have not yet developed the muscles, is to use a chair or barrier to help you get up. So you're going to do the same thing, put one foot up, but you're going to lean your weight over onto the chair. Just check that the object you're leaning on is going to be strong enough and not tip. And you're up. Let's just have a little reality check about getting up. We coach hundreds of women who feel roller skating is not the activity for them because they're the wrong body shape. However, roller skating is once you've got past the initial falling, okay? Once you've got past that point, it's actually a low impact activity, and getting up is really difficult. Please allow your body to build the muscle it needs and you will be able to get up by yourself one day. You just need to keep practicing. Now, you're here because you'll be learning maybe by yourself or learning with a friend, and you don't know what that normal looks like. So I'm just here to give you that reality check. Normal at the very start of your roller skate journey is you can't get up by yourself. So let's normalize how difficult it is, and you're going to hear me say that a lot in this course because it is difficult. So however long it takes you to get up unaided is not a problem. Use a chair as long as you need to, and that might help you select your practice space in a different way. If you're learning outside, you might want to make sure that you've got a wall or a barrier or something near you that's going to support you with getting up, because you will fall over. Okay, so let's move on to the next section and let's get you rolling. Right, let's learn the penguin shuffle. We are going to wobble our shoulders from side to side. And by doing that, we're bending the knee, and it's going to make our shoulders wobble from side to side. It's a completely different skating motion. Turn your toes out and do the same thing, and you will start to wobble forwards. So off we go, wobbling for side to side. Here we go, side view. Note the eyes are looking forward. Bend your knees, and by bend your knees I mean touch your knees when you feel wobbly. Turn your toes out a little bit and you will start to wobble forward. And here we go, rear view. So the feet are parallel, and when you're wobbling from side to side, bending those knees, you should stay on the spot. Start to turn the toes out and you will start wobbling forward. So these are our very first wobbly steps that we call a penguin shuffle. Right, if you're struggling with your penguin walk, it's probably to do with a lack of confidence in your body movement or your foot positioning. If your feet are parallel and you're trying to push them forward to walk, it's not a skating motion. Your shoulders need to be going from side to side and your toes need to be pointing out. Maybe you feel very, very anxious, you're not bending your knees and you feel too nervous to move. Here, I'm moving my shoulders from side to side, but I'm not actually bending my knees at all. So walking does not work. It is not the skating motion. Just turn your toes out and wobble your shoulders from side to side without looking at your feet. Your penguin shuffle can be quite small to start with. It can be a little wobble as you become accustomed to the movement. The important thing is to look where you are going. Do not look at your feet and keep trying. Falling as an adult is one of our biggest barriers to learning to roller skate. I mean, put your hand up if that is you. I know we have spent years learning to stand up and walk without falling over. However, it is something we have to learn. It is absolutely something we need to embrace, and it's part of our journey learning to roller skate. We will fall at every level, not just as a brand new roller skater. Once we have an understanding of where we place our weight over our wheels, then we can kind of style out the falls as we become more confident and competent. Falling and teaching your body how to fall takes practice. I urge everybody to practice falling just at the start of their session. It should help to relax your shoulders. You should then remember to breathe, and you can get on with the rest of your session having reminded your body how to drop your weight. Let's learn how to fall safely. The first thing we need to do is to fight that startle reflex and teach our body to lower our centre of gravity by bending our knees. Just make sure that you are looking where you're going, you're not looking at your feet, keeping your chest and shoulders high, and bend your knees, touch your knees. We're going to learn how to fall onto one knee. It's like a really big lunge. You're keeping your weight forward and rolling one foot forward. The other foot is going to go over your toe stop, and you're going to end up on your knee pad. Again, keep your chest and shoulders high, and it's good practice to get up as well. You know your body, so you know if you have any existing injuries that you need to be careful of. Practice as often as you need to feel more confident on your roller skates. When you're down on your knee, it's an opportunity to breathe. Don't forget to breathe. Tipping onto a toe stop and down onto your knee. From this view, you can see toe stop hits the floor and you end up going down onto the other knee. Whoop. Standing still is one of the hardest things to do when you're starting your roller skate journey, because as yet you don't have an awareness of how to place your weight over your wheels and how a tense body in a certain position is going to make you overbalance in one direction versus a different one. So it just feels really unstable. Oh no, we're wobbling, and then you put the heel into the arch of the other foot. So they're touching, and then when you bend your knees, you'll stand still. The final thing we're going to work on in today's session is the push and glide. So this is where you're gaining confidence in your ability to stand up on those 8 wheels. You'll definitely be comfortable with your shoulder motion, moving from side to side, because you need that in order to counterbalance your leg. For more power, you will need to bend your knees more. You will find that your technique becomes more efficient. Push and glide effective technique takes a long time to develop because you have to bend your knees this much. Most people will just try to push and glide with a straight leg. That's with a straight leg, and that is bent knee. It makes a real difference on your reach. So let's do a few penguin wobbles with our feet in a V position to get started. And then as you get rolling, we are going to push less often, but harder, and glide more. As always, look where you are going. We cannot look at our feet. You can see we're pushing out to the side with shoulders counterbalancing what the feet are doing. It can be easier to put 2 hands on one leg to really shift that weight. You've shown up, you've had a go, you have done it. And showing up for the first time is definitely the most difficult thing. If you need to go back and repeat this session, It's right here for you. Take it at your pace. Give yourself permission to go as slowly as you need to go. Lots of adults are finding that roller skating helps them to stay mentally well. It helps to keep your mind focused and active on learning something new. And in itself, that's a brilliant practice. So by roller skating, you are looking after your whole well-being. You're looking after your mental well-being, but also your physical well-being. There is no rule about how long or short a roller skate session should be for you. But what I will always suggest is that you try not to say to yourself, let's have one last time. Often we are excited by learning something new and by conquering something new, and we don't realise how tired the muscles in our bodies get until we start falling over. Stay hydrated throughout your session and make sure that you are really looking after yourself. A shorter, more positive session, even if you feel you didn't get a lot done, doesn't matter, you can come back to it tomorrow. If you go for a longer session where you end up falling more and more, getting frustrated with yourself, you are going to find it much more difficult to lace up those skates the next day. You do not need to roller skate every day. You pick up your skates and lace them up whenever it feels right for you. I look forward to seeing you in session 2. I look forward to hearing about your progress on our social media. Thank you so much for being here today. Rest up, look after your muscles, and stretch and reflect. What has gone well for you today? What were you able to do that you were not able to do at the start of the session? How do you feel now? See you on the next one.
Sunshine, blue skies. I gotta cry.
You may find that you go a little bit faster with your push and glide than you did in the previous session. And if you do, you may find that your body tenses up. That's really normal. Try to remember to breathe when that happens. Stop moving your feet and touch your knees, but keep looking where you're going, and you will slow back down and be able to regain control. If you don't, those knee falls that you've practiced, this is where they come in. As we are progressing, we go a little bit faster than we did the previous time, and it feels very uncomfortable, but we know that by pushing out of your comfort zone, that is how you grow and develop, and you will be a more courageous, stronger skater because of it. You might be inwardly screaming, you might be outwardly screaming, but don't worry, you have got this. One knee up, push forward and up. It can also help to look up as you stand up. Count the pushes across 2 fixed markers. This is in slow-mo to help make counting easier. That last push wasn't actually needed. I could easily have glided over the white line. By pushing harder, you also need to push fewer times. Let's have a look at those lemons. So this is a new way of moving compared to the penguin shuffle and the push and glide. I particularly want you to notice how the shoulders are moving compared to push and glide and the penguin shuffle. So take note of that. And what are the legs doing differently? If you have looked at online roller skate videos before, to get
you
started.
may know this by another name. It's commonly also called bubbles or
Once
scissors.
rolling, feet are moving
We
symmetrically.
learned these as
Heels
lemons,
out,
so we are
pull
going to
toes
teach them to
in,
you
push
as
heels out,
lemons.
pull toes in. Note that all 8 wheels remain touching the floor. Let's look at the upper body. Chest and shoulders are high, arms in front for balance. Looking ahead, not at your feet. Note the shoulders are not moving side to side like they are with the push and glide. Instead, shoulders are moving up and down. They're moving down as the knees bend and heels push out, and shoulders move up as toes pull in and you stand back up. Eyes looking forward, shoulders are moving up and down. This is in response to knees being bent. You get started and rolling okay, but then you don't bend your knees at all. You overbalance, drop your shoulders and chest. No problem, we learned something. Start again, toes out, penguin shuffle, bend your knees and push out through your heels. It's normal to lose momentum at first. Keep going with a penguin shuffle between each lemon. Oh dear, let's see if you can spot the problem here. Yes, you guessed it. Look where you're going. Looking down causes your weight to be too far forward, making forward momentum extremely difficult. Look where you're going to keep chest and shoulders high. If only those knees were bending more, it would be so much easier. This is very common when you are learning. You focus on only one thing. Only when you're used to not looking down can you focus on improving the next skill. Feet go a bit too wide and you feel stuck and not able to pull those toes back in. No amount of butt wiggling will bring your toes back together. Just shuffle your feet in and reset. Foundation move, lemons, so useful for so many more things in your roller skating. It's really worth making sure that you have got a really solid technique. You can spend months perfecting this technique. It can take quite a long time for your muscles to build, particularly when you're pulling your toes back together. So
please remember to feel proud of yourself and not disheartened if you manage to do one. The plough stop is the widest point of the lemon and then even wider. It may feel like you are about to do the splits, but I can assure you that unless you can already do the splits, that will not happen. Okay, stopping is harder than going. Once you get going, you pick up momentum fairly easily, and then stopping and controlling your speed is something that we fear more and find more difficult. So a plough stop is a great place to start because your body is symmetrical, so you are doing the same thing with both sides, but it's still not easy. There are a lot of very fine technical points to make your plough stop as efficient as possible, and it may take your body 6 months, 9 months, 12 months to learn these and for you to stop from a high speed. You have chosen to slow yourself down
roughly in line with your heels.
Session.
Though we don't stop in this position, put arms in front to keep your eyes and weight forward. We don't stop instantly. Your braking distance will depend on your speed, the ground, and your wheels. I like thinking time to prepare my body. Lemon, lemon, plough stop. There's often a tiny bit of rollback when you're plough stopping. Here's a side view in slow-mo. Feet wider than hip width and push out through the heels. You bend your knees more into the plough and keep your weight forward. Rear view, lemon, lemon, plough stop. Push out through the heels rather than pulling the toes in. Push those heels out, out, out. Eyes forward, arms forward, chest and shoulders high, knees bent. Imagine you're carrying soft scoop ice cream. Starting really well. But then we're reaching too far forward. The chest and shoulders are too low. Oh, staring at the feet. You need a bit more speed first. But stopping did happen. The upper body is a little far forward and we're not pushing hard enough through those heels so the feet remain parallel.
Now we're 2 sessions in, I wonder if you've realised what the 2 key takeaway points for pretty much all roller skating is. I wonder if you've realised yet. Number 1, bend your knees. Pretty much nobody bends their knees enough. When we're walking, there is no need to bend our knees as much as we need to when we're roller skating. Number 1, however much you're bending your knees, probably double it. Number 2, look where you're going, always, because wherever your eyes are looking, that is where your shoulders and the rest of your body is you're going to go. If you look at your feet, then you're going to tip your head forward. Your head is quite heavy, so you're tipping it out of an axis of body weight this way. Your head is tipping forward, and slowly but surely you'll go forward. It's much better for your balance if you can look ahead. If you really cannot trust your feet to work without your eyes checking, then aim to look on the floor in front of you, diagonally down. And then gradually, as you're going faster, you should try and lift your gaze so that you're looking further ahead. Okay? Bend your knees, look where you're going. If you remember those two things, you can't go too far wrong with your skating, because one or the other will usually be lacking, and when you're finding something difficult, and that will be the thing that you need to troubleshoot. So the best thing you can do is take a video of yourself, and you can assess that video according to, are you bending your knees enough? Are you looking where you're going? And you can check against our videos to see your body position and posture. I cannot believe we've already got to the end of session 2. That is incredible. So today we have recapped, we've practiced our falls again, we have worked on our push and glide, we have counted how many pushes, and I bet your number is decreasing rapidly as you gain more confidence and more power to your push, which means you get to glide for longer, which is the whole point of roller skating. And then we've learned 2 new things. We've learned how to move using a movement called lemons, and we have used this and applied this in a stop called a plow stop. And if you even manage to slow down, you deserve a massive cheer, massive round of applause. I'm really proud of you, because a plow stop is hard. I hope you can recognise the achievements that you've had, even if it's just showing up. And session 2 does not need to be the day after session 1. It is when you feel ready for it that you come to this and think, yep, I'm ready for that now. Let's give it a go. So I'm right there in your pocket, cheering you on all the time. Don't forget to share your progress on social media, because we would love to see how you're getting on. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you for session 3 soon. Take care. I want to reframe how we think about progress within physical activities such as roller skating. It's a very skill-based sport where you need to develop a small set of skills, but they need to be quite deeply embedded, and that you need to kind of wear these skills in your body so that your muscles know exactly what to do. It becomes automatic, and that natural idea that you see on the internet, it's not natural, it's completely learned. So we have a lot of skaters who come and talk about they're not good enough to be in this space, they're not good enough to be in the middle of the room. Why are they here? And I just need to stop those thoughts right there. They're really, really harmful for us. Why are we so hard on ourselves? I want you to think instead about feeling more and less confident. That's all. One day you might feel less confident about your roller skating, and then you may become more confident about your skating. But we also know that how we feel when we're doing a physical activity is affected by the wider events in our lives. So we might not feel confident every time we show up. That means at the start of another session, we may slip back. It's really, really common for our confidence to progress and increase during a session as you see and you feel more comfortable in the space and your shoulders begin to relax. You begin to remember to breathe without us reminding you. But then you have a gap. It might be a few days, it might be a week, it might be longer. When you come back to roller skating and you put those wheels back on, you feel anxious and nervous again, and that's really normal. That feeling of, oh, I don't know why I thought I was good at this. Just, you need to stop that thought in its tracks. You need to remind yourself that this is really difficult, that you've had a break, and actually you are good at this because you've shown up again. You've come back to this knowing it's going to be challenging, and that is incredible. So the next time those thoughts start invading your mind and saying, I shouldn't be here, I'm not good enough for this space, just remind yourself that yes, you are. Yes, you should be here. This is the right space for you. You have got this. Thanks for joining me in session 3. Today we're going to be looking at turning corners, and we're also going to learn how to skate backwards. Make sure you've found your balance. It can take quite a few hours on your skates before you feel that you're ready for the next stage. So don't be disheartened if you need to go back and recap on sessions 1 and 2 quite a few times. It's really normal for people who are coming to sessions to feel a little bit anxious and need to repeat. The 2 most important things in roller skating are to look where you're going and to bend your knees. Those 2 things are difficult to do, and the reason we always talk about looking where you're going is because of the way your body is connected, and looking actually really supports everything else. So if you look, you're going to turn your head, which will then turn your shoulders, it will turn your hips, rotate your knees and toes, and with much less effort than if you didn't look where you're going. Actually, it's your shoulders that you need to get in the right line. But when we're first learning how to do this, if you look, that's going to really support you. So over time, as you become accustomed to these movements, you'll do this without needing to think about it. But bear in mind that that can take months or years, depending how often you practice. I would always encourage people to slow down their movements and perform them as slowly as they can. You've got more control, you're thinking more clearly and calmly. So do your best to slow down as much as you can, but don't be harsh on yourself initially when you find yourself maybe rushing through movements.
We recommend you practice falling safely and getting up again. Get yourself rolling from a penguin shuffle to a push and glide. It can take a lot of time on skates to feel comfortable. Over time, your power and technique will improve. Practice lemons, coordinating the push out and bend. At the point where your feet are wide, your shoulders should have lowered down. Bend your knees. Look in the direction you want to go. Point to hold your shoulders in this position. As you roll forward, your hips, knees and feet will follow your shoulders so your body is square. Again, bend, look, point, hold. Now rolling. Just before you approach the corner, bend, look, point, hold. Bend, look, point, hold. A little speed is important or you will lose momentum around the turn. Start your turn sequence before you get to the end. It's normal to need a few pushes to sustain your momentum. One more turn sequence to exit back to the straight. Follow me. You should be able to say the 4 turn sequence steps. Fixed camera view. As you get faster, you'll find you lean more on the inside leg, but don't worry about this at first. The main issue is likely your shoulder position. You point, but something distracts you. Shoulders are not turned, so your body will not turn.
We have a tried and tested method to get you rolling backwards. When I learned to roller skate backwards, I struggled with this for months, definitely months. It's still difficult. It's difficult to keep momentum because you are having to learn how to combine the movements with bending your knees and bouncing, and remember, you can't bend your knees unless you are relaxed.
Foot position is everything. So bring your toes in and bend your knees. Keep your toes pointing inwards and penguin shuffle back to a backwards push and glide. Most beginners don't like to go backwards on one foot moving quite so swiftly. So we teach backwards lemons. Toes in, knees bent so they touch. Push out through the toes and give yourself time to get used to the feeling of rolling backwards. It's very unnerving at first. Breaking it down further. Bring each toe in to make an A shape. It's not a comfortable position and your legs will feel twisted. You may need to do a little penguin shuffle to gain momentum, then allow your feet to roll and focus on keeping your arms forward. If you can pull your legs back in, that's great, and if you can't, don't worry. Reset your toes and have another go. Remember, feet need to be in a V or A position in order for you to move. Bring your toes in, bend your knees so knee pads are touching, arms in front of a balance and toes out, and knees should be slightly bent. As you pull your heels together, stand up straighter. To start linking your backwards lemons, bend your knees enough for them to touch and then push the toes out. It's not common for people to do this straight away.
Okay, let's just troubleshoot the backwards. So I'm giving you some tips about common things that people struggle with. We know that we can never look at our feet, so that's a really common thing because looking down is going to tip our head out of that vertical axis and actually make balancing much more challenging. Focus on those forward lemons first and get those really fluid and fluent, and then go back to your backwards.
You start well with feet in an A position. You bend your knees. Then your feet roll to parallel and you get stuck. Feet need to be in a V or A position for you to move. There is no amount of hip swinging that will get you to move effectively, and pushing your feet backwards is also not successful. Look, your feet are parallel here. Walking or pushing your legs back is just not effective. You may get rolling, but it will be slow, and it's difficult to work out how you can do this again.
The next part of this video is about what you will start to do when you become more confident with your backwards skating. So you already need to be linking those backwards lemons and moving backwards with some degree of control. Looking backwards is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Having the greatest possible field of vision is really important. So the shoulder that you choose to look over is important so that your body is not fighting itself. Encourage yourself to look backwards as soon as you feel able, and at first it will be a glance, because you will find that your shoulders and your muscles ache if you're holding that position. If you need to practice your backward skating, and then you're going to go forwards again so that you give your body a rest, and then you're going to go backwards again and go forwards again, that's completely normal, and we would encourage you to do that in class.
After a lot of practice, you'll be able to look over your shoulder while moving at speed. We can even teach you backwards crossovers, but that's not a beginner move, so not in this video. Step 1. Instead of having both hands in front of you, place one by your hip or just behind you, which will allow your head a greater range of movement. Try it rolling and work on glancing over your shoulder. It will be tricky to keep your momentum at first. Trying to look under your arm instead of over your shoulder leads to the body leaning over too far, stopping your momentum, or even overbalancing. Pointing with the opposite arm while trying to look over the other shoulder leads to you fighting your own body.
Thank you for joining me today. You have worked really hard if you have gone through all the parts of this video and practiced them. Turning corners and twisting your shoulders and skating backwards involves quite intense concentration and being really aware about your body. I hope you're starting to be more gentle with your self-talk, because that is really, really important. I look forward to hearing how you got on, and I will see you for session 4.
I regard the work of motivation the most important work in the history of man. Everything that happens is motivation.
I want to just have a chat about the pros and cons of social media. There are some really great connections that can be made. We just have to use it really intentionally. So the first thing that I want to remind people of is that your progress in anything, but particularly roller skating, is your own. It is your journey. You are a unique person with a unique set of circumstances around when you are available to practice, your access to coaching or spaces where you are able to practice, the kit you're able to buy, your body shape and size, and any previous injuries you've had, your mental health when you're approaching a new activity. One, we do not compare ourselves to anybody, but Roller Girl Gang, we are here to support roller skaters who just want to do this for fun. There is no competitive element in anything that we're doing. It is purely for enjoyment. We enjoy learning skills because it keeps us intellectually stimulated and it keeps our muscles learning more so that we can continue honing and improving. However, we are not interested in any kind of competition. Any skills that we acquire over time are purely for our own enjoyment. Second thing that I want you to think about is using social media really intentionally. It's really easy to feel inspired in the first instance and be scrolling on your phone at times when your mind may be slightly vulnerable. And you may see things that think, wow, that's great, I'm really pleased for that person. But then you may see something that you think, wow, something about that doesn't quite resonate with me. And it might just be that person has different values to you, or they're making an approach that's different to you. When we're using our social media intentionally, you do not need to post on social media at all anything that you do not wish to share. Your journey is your own, and if you would like to share that, that's brilliant. If you want to create a space online where you can share your progress so that you can reflect on that in the future, that's fantastic. If your space is there because you are the first among your group of friends and you're actually forging a new path for them, who may then say, wow, I didn't realise that this was something that people of my age were still doing. What an inspiration, and you've become the inspiration. That's a fantastic thing. But please don't feel any pressure to share things at all. There's no need. It's very difficult for us to enjoy the journey at every stage, particularly in the beginning, because roller skating is so difficult. So enjoying your journey from the outset is a real challenge, and it's something that is going to take a lot of willpower to say, do you know what? I know I'm not the best, and that's okay. I'm happy to be okay. I'm happy to be doing this for fun. Again with session 4. Thank you for continuing to commit to your own progress with Roller Girl Gang in your pocket to support you. I'm Mel, I'm delighted that you're here today, and let's get started. When you're warming up, I would always suggest that you follow a fairly short but simple process to get your body warm and prepared for exercise, because as much as we think roller skating is really just a fun time, actually let's use this opportunity to improve and increase our flexibility and strength on roller skates.
It's worth practicing getting up. You can practice this off skates too. If you need to use a chair to help you get up, then do. Remember, this is only session 4. It may have been a good while since some of the muscles required for this activity were used. It's normal though. Let's recap how to fall. While we hope you haven't fallen backwards and hurt yourself badly, the reality is everybody does that fall. we can train ourselves to fall forward. We often find a strong visualization helps here. Look at this body position. Chest and shoulders high, not falling forward. Arms reaching forward, that helps to keep your weight forward. Imagine you're holding something or stroking a cute animal. Whatever works for you to distract your brain. Visualizing something else helps focus on that and takes the fear out of the fall, and before you know it, your body will have relaxed. Are you still counting the number of pushes? Pick 2 fixed points. Count every push. And over time, your count should decrease. Lemon practice. It's normal to need some pushes to get going. Push your heels out and bend. Pull your toes in and stand. Heels out, toes in. Shoulders move up and down. There is so much for your body to learn. I've practiced lemons for years. Plough stops next. People don't usually practice stopping unless they are at class because it is not really considered a fun skill. It is essential though, and being able to control your speed will help you feel more confident. Thinking time is good, so I do 2 lemons, then a plough stop. Keep pushing those heels wide. A bit of rollback is normal. Just like falling, keep arms forward, chest and shoulders upright. Little recap on looking backwards. Knees bent, one arm next to or behind your hip and glance over that shoulder. Toes in and penguin shuffle to start rolling back. Go to lemons for more stability. Recap is done. Go grab some water.
Today we are going to look at transitions. Transitions is the term commonly used for turning around on your roller skates. So that's either backwards to forwards or forwards to backwards. It's important that you feel confident and comfortable skating forwards and comfortable skating backwards. Without these 2 skills, you're going to end up turning around from your preferred direction to your less preferred direction, and you may find that it's a little bit unnerving and it might even cause you to fall over. We teach backwards to forwards first. This is because most people feel more confident skating forwards, so we start with the direction where you feel less confident and turn to the direction you feel more confident. Can you remember the 2 most important things about roller skating yet? I'm sure you can, because I've said it every single video. You need to look where you're going and bend your knees. It gets even more important now that you are able to do both those things. So often with the troubleshooting, you won't be doing one of them enough. The reason we look where we're going, remember, is usually to turn our shoulders in that direction, because if you can fix your shoulders in a new direction, the rest of your body will simply follow, and it will make the process of moving, usually it's changing direction, it will be so much easier for you. As you become a more accomplished skater and you have that skill set embedded, you won't always need to point because your body will understand what to do. Let's look at how we are going to turn around.
Start facing backwards, knees bent. Look over your shoulder. Point behind you. Step the same leg as the arm you're pointing and make sure you bend your knee into the step. Step the other leg round. This leg is easier. Pick it up and your hips will just rotate to the way your shoulders are facing. Ta-da! Look at just the upper body. Did you notice my whole body dropped a little? Knees are bent. Look over your shoulder. Point to where you want to go. Keep looking and pointing. Don't look at your feet. Now the lower body. Bend your knees. Step. Step the other foot together. Aim to point your toe where you want to go. My feet are not in a straight line. That's not necessary for turning around. I struggle to get my body to this position. Reset. Bend knees. Look. Point. Step. Step. As you are stepping, you must make sure you bend your knees, otherwise you won't transfer your weight. Happy with the steps? Practice without skates if you want to. Bend, look, point, step, step. A little push to get rolling. Bend, look, point, step, step. Bent my knees first this time. Look, point, step, step. Bend, look, point, step, step. What could go wrong? Bend, look, point. Ooh, same arm as the leg pointing. This foot is in a dodgy position. You are much more likely to fall. Bend, look, point, step, step. This fling is not helpful. You will never achieve high speed transitions with this method. The steps are the same, but it will feel different. Bend, look, point, step, step. When going forwards to backwards, bend even more on the first step and stay bent until you feel balanced. You can tell how bent my knees were as my head's been chopped off the video. Bend, look, point, step, step. Remember, this takes a lot of practice. Sometimes you're too nervous to pick your foot up and turn it. Start with bend, look, point, and bend those knees. Oh, you're going faster than you anticipated. Panic? Probably you'd fall or just not try, and this is normal. Give yourself permission to go as slowly as you need to.
Women will often say to me, I'm not good enough to go to that space. I just want to reframe your thoughts around good and bad roller skaters. When we are adults, we are not good or bad. We are here for a good time. That is all. I want you to think about yourself as having more or less confidence to access a space and more or less practice, because when we start roller skating, I'm sure you will have quickly learned, if you haven't done already, that we are now on a continuum. So we are now somewhere along this path on our skills for roller skating. And we could tease out separate paths for each part of our roller skating journey if we so choose to. So you might want to follow one path for your push and glide to make that really, really smooth. You might want to follow a different path for your lemons, a different path for your stopping, or you might just want to lump it together. However, roller skating is on a continuum, and when we start, we can't expect to be good, but many of us do. Many of us think, well, my brain will have internalized these movements and my body will just know what to do. And I'm sure you've already found out that actually our bodies have to learn what to do, and that's really important. We have to give our bodies time to learn what to do. So when we have less experience, we're often also less confident because we're unsure about the unspoken social rules and boundaries in particular spaces, and it takes time to learn those. So every time you increase your experience and you go somewhere new, you put your skates on somewhere different, or you try different kit, you try different wheels, every time your experience will increase and your confidence will improve a little bit. This is you stepping outside of your comfort zone, and that is the place where you're going to grow. You are going to one day see a transformation. It might be quite gradual within you, but it will definitely happen. It's common for your confidence to fluctuate within a session and over time. It's not a linear process at all. Thank you so much for joining me in session 4 today. I hope you've had a great session. Don't forget you can go back at any time and recap on any of these videos. Please feel free to do it as many times as you need to so that you feel really confident and comfortable with these techniques. And I will see you on the next one. This time when you've done a few sessions and your confidence has grown that you might feel ready to head to your first roller disco session with other members of the public. Roller discos are all a little bit different. The rules and regulations may be the same. For example, you don't ever take food and drink onto the skating space, and that includes chewing gum. Make sure that your wheels and toe stops are nice and tight and they're not going to drop off. That might only be an issue if you started changing your wheels. There's usually a directional flow in place in the rink or roller disco that you will be attending to keep people safe. So it's really common for people to skate round the same way, and then at various intervals the music might stop and you can expect people to skate the opposite direction. So that's a really common thing that most roller discos will do. Some roller discos have a speed skate. A speed skate is exactly as it sounds, and it is full of people skating as fast as they can. This is not usually a beginner-friendly space. Most rinks will clear the floor before they start their speed skate so that you've got a chance to grab a drink and sit down and just watch and see what happens. In future sessions, you might feel that your technique gets to a point and you want to join in those speed skate sessions, and that's brilliant. But there should never be any pressure for you to do so. All parts of the roller rink should be available for you to use. Commonly, the outside of the rink area will be skaters moving around, and inside or the middle will be where there may be some roller dancers, and it depends on the session that you attend. Roller dance is still relatively new in the UK and it's growing in popularity, and the footwork is tricky. Some skaters don't like skating in the middle because they feel that they're very watched or that their ability isn't of a level that they should be accessing that space. I just want to say that's not true. You should definitely be able to access any part of that space if it is a public session. Try and enjoy the journey. Know that any space in a public session is open for you, and we just try and skate with consideration and respect to other users. If you're doing all of those things, I'm sure you'll have a great time. Hello, and welcome to session 5. I've got a great action-packed session with loads and loads of useful tips as usual that I hope will improve your technique, make you feel more confident to get out there and get skating. I'm going to start with a warm-up, so without a great deal of waffle from me today, let's get started.
Include these in your warm-up. Some knee falls. Practice both sides when you feel one side is stronger. If you don't want to practice knee falls, then practice touching your knees. You may feel a bit silly now, but it will pay off later as your body has learned what to do. Push and glide. More glide once you get going. It's about control, not speed. Lemons. Forwards and then backwards. Also practicing turning your body and looking over your shoulder. A good warm-up will take 5 to 10 minutes. It doesn't need to be done quickly or have a huge number of repetitions. Better to do a few really good ones of whatever you're practicing. After a lot of practice, transitions both ways will become super smooth. Until then, we practice all the steps. Bend, look, point, step, step. Have you heard of open close book transitions? These are not what we're doing. This condenses the steps. Look, point and step becomes one step. Open and close book transitions are fine, but many of us need smaller steps. We are training our bodies to take 2 steps so we can do smoother transitions later. Always take 2 steps. Forwards to backwards feels so strange. We see so many skaters being very hard on themselves because they struggle with this after a month. Give yourself much more time. Warm up done.
T-stops are not really that beginner friendly. The reason that it's important to do is to help you avoid relying on your toe stops when you're skating forward. People drag their toe stop behind them. It's not recommended unless you're using that to take you down to a knee fall. The reason we don't recommend it is because it's a very, very tiny surface to drag and stop you. It's going to wear down that toe stop really quickly. It also causes your ankle to kind of shake around, and it takes just one issue with the ground or the surface that you're skating on to cause injury. The other reason we teach the T-stop is because we know the plough stop that we've already learned is a wide and low stop. not always that dignified a stop, if you know what I mean. The T-stop though takes up much less space on the floor, so it can be much more useful in roller discos and other places where you might encounter lots of people. Just to give you some perspective, a T-stop can take more than a year for you to stop confidently from a high speed. It's easy to use poor technique. You can actually destroy your boots. It will cause their boot and the heel to separate.
A T-stop is performed on one foot, so we need to practice balancing on one foot. Pick one foot up, then the other. It doesn't have to be for long. You are trying to work out which foot you prefer to pick up. Right now it may be neither. Make sure the knee of the rolling leg is bent. Next, pick up your preferred foot and put it down behind you. Roll a little in this position. We're not aiming to stop yet, we're working on body position. Back leg straighter than the front leg, shoulders and chest high, and look where you're going, not your feet. Foot up and back. Keep rolling like your feet are on train tracks, and notice a slight drop of the shoulders as you put your foot down. Putting your foot behind you feels weird. Hover the foot behind you with toe turned out. All your weight on the rolling leg and bend that knee. Hover for a moment and then gradually increase how long you hold the position. Yours may be straight up and down at first, that is fine. Here is the difficulty with the T-stop. As you move the leg behind you, it will rotate your hip, which will rotate your shoulders, and we don't want that. Keep your arms forward to maintain correct posture, which will put a twist on your torso. This is key to this stop. Next step is to drag the front two wheels. Both wheels need to contact the ground. It's okay to just work on the preferred side right now. You'll also need to keep that back leg fairly straight as you're pushing the wheels down from the hip while pulling it forwards. Gradually add pressure to your toe and push down into the floor to brake. It's actually easier to balance on one foot with a bit more speed. Have you found this? All four wheels being pushed into the ground this time. Lift, rotate, push, drag. Hard to see from this angle, but there is a gap between my feet. Try and hold the position until you come to a complete stop. Lift, rotate, push and drag. It's this wheel you want to try and push into the ground, the rear outside wheel. Try to increase the pressure as you slow down. It will take a lot of practice and a lot of leg strength. Lift, rotate, push and drag. Keep trying, but pay attention to your body. T-stops put a twist on your torso. Take breaks from repeating the movement by just skating. The good thing about learning really challenging movements is the first things you learned should feel much more comfortable now. It can help our bodies learn the T-stop position more quickly if we also work on a T-start. I like to use lines to help. Put the back leg on a line, front leg in a T, feet not touching, so not the safety lock. Again, back foot on the line, front foot in a T. To start, bend both knees and push off the back foot. Unlike the safety lock, with the T-stop and start, make sure your shoulders are facing forward. Shoulders and toe should form a triangle, that way you know your weight is centered on one foot. Bend, lean forward and push the back leg away. Chest high, looking at your feet. Push all the wheels away as if you are scooping through the floor. When you're first learning this, you'll be keen to get your wheels back on the floor, but as your confidence and skill increase, aim to do it more slowly. So much can go wrong. First, just not being confident about what you are doing. The weight is too far forward here, so the back leg has to stick out to balance you. At least the toe is turned out and the shoulders are forward. It's a bit stampy. Rather than hitting the ground, try thinking of it as icing and you're sinking your wheels into the icing as you slow. There is a big gap between the feet here. Give your shoulders a swing to release any tension. Shoulders are not being held forward, so are turning with the hips. There's no stopping here. Maybe more like a transition, but not a stop. The boot destroyer. Ineffective as a stop, as you're using the edges of the inner wheels only, rather than all four wheels. The boot is being pulled by the human while the plate and wheels are being gripped by the floor. The weak point is the sole, hence destruction. When you perform a T-stop properly, the force is downwards rather than forwards. No! Well done! You've seen all the video footage. Now the hard work begins. When you're looking to buy your first pair of roller skates, you're just looking to get rolling. So it's really common to look for the cheapest possible skates, just in case you don't enjoy it. Actually, you won't get the best experience because really cheap roller skates just don't have the build that better quality skates have. So you really do get what you pay for. On the other hand, you also won't know any different. So we would always just advise you to get whatever you can, spend whatever you can afford, and just buy the best that you're able to at the time. You're just doing your best. As Maya Angelou says, when you know better, do better. And you can't know that straight away. Once you've started your roller skate journey, you will start learning about the different styles of roller skating, and you might think, oh, that's something that really interests me, and you might start having a go at learning different things. You might find the competitive elements of roller derby appeal to you. You may find that the skate park is somewhere that you feel is very exciting, or maybe the group combinations of roller dance is a space that you would like to enjoy. Maybe you don't want to do any of those things and you're quite happy just skating around a car park or a space by yourself for some exercise with the headphones on, just in the space. Then
at the point where you're ready for independent suggestions, we try not to say advice, we try not to give advice in our shop. But should you want an independent opinion about what's next, you're very welcome to drop us an email, One final word about injury. We absolutely will hurt ourselves during our roller skate journey. We will hurt ourselves because we're having too much fun to stop, and we will push our bodies beyond their limits, refusing to recognise that our bodies need time to rest. This is why I think roller skating mirrors the journey of life. It really is a great teacher in helping us learn to look after ourselves in a completely different way. We had fear before we started this journey, fear of injury. Now you are injured, we have all the people who doubt us come and tell us that we shouldn't have started in the first place, that we should probably hang up our skates now, that we're really too old for this, that our bodies aren't made for this. Whether you decide to put your roller skates back on or not is your decision. You do need to give your body time to rest, and if you don't give your body enough time, you'll actually aggravate that injury. So if you're in doubt, always seek medical support. Injuries happen usually at the end of sessions when you stop thinking about what you're doing. So I want you just to beware of saying to yourself, I'm just going to do one last time. When is it going to be the best effort? It can't be the best effort. We're at the end of our session, we're the most tired, we're still having fun, our brain is saying we're having a great time, but actually we're not able to perform at the same level as when we were warmed up and just starting out our session. So please beware of saying to yourself one last time. So if you are injured, please rest properly. Your body needs it. I cannot believe we have already made it to the end of our video series. I just want to offer my sincere congratulations, give you a little round of applause. I hope that you have seen the transformation within yourself and your confidence that I know I see and our instructors see at Roller Girl Gang classes. I would love to know how you feel once you've done your 5 sessions and how you feel that you're going to progress next. Maybe you found something that's going to interest you. Maybe you are going to start a group in your area. Maybe that's something you could do. Hopefully it's something that's giving you confidence. We know roller skating is difficult, we know this, but now you also know that you can do it. You know you're not going to give up. You know you've got this. You know you've got us to cheer you on and support you. So if you can do this, what else can you do? That's my question. And whatever it is, you know you've got the resilience and the determination to succeed with a massive smile on your face. This is why roller skaters shine from the inside. You got this. Hey, hi everyone, it's Mel here, and I'm here with the Cupid Shuffle, just because it's a really fun one to do. Here we go, let's get started. So
4 counts to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 counts back to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 counts on the spot. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 4 counts, and we turn clockwise. So I'm going to turn towards the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we go again. I'm going to start this way. I'm going to start to my right. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. And back. 1, 2, 3 on the spot, and 1, 2, 3, and turn. 1, 2, 3 to the right. 1, 2, 3 to the left. 1, 2, 3 on the spot. 1, 2, and turn. 2 to the right. 1, 2, 3 to the left. 1, 2 on the spot. 2, 3 and turn. 5, 6, 7, 8. Off we go. 2 and back. On the spot. And turn. Woo, we've been all the way around. So you would just keep going all the way around. Here we go.
shuffle on roller skates. It is a classic line dance, and you can totally do this not on roller skates as well. I think it's a really fun song to do with friends at the roller disco. Do it in the middle of the rink and then keep rotating. If you have got somebody who is joining in and they're not quite sure what to do yet, try to put them in the middle so that as they're rotating, there's always somebody that they can watch. See you on the next one. Thanks so much for joining. Bye.
Let's talk about skating outside. So the weather's nice, you've got new roller skates, you want to go outside. You've got one behind the other. It doesn't matter which one's in front and which one's behind. You decide what's comfortable riding for you, but you need to put your weight on the back leg, and I'm going to rest my weight there. Hey, okay, so we're gonna learn how to do a crossover on roller skates. So this is what it should look like. You use a crossover on roller skates to turn a corner. So usually in a sports hall or somewhere where you're running out of room and you need to go around the corner, it's an efficient and elegant way of getting around the corner. But like everything, it takes lots of practice. It takes lots of practice. Okay, so step one is to look where you're going before you get there, because everything in your body is connected. So if you look around a corner to where you're going, your shoulders are going to turn, your hips are going to turn, your knees are going to turn, and your feet are going to follow with very little effort. So to exaggerate the way that your shoulders are turning, we would encourage you to also point. Start pointing and looking, and you'll just roll around the corner with you. is no real effort. You're just going to point, look where you're going, so your shoulders are turned, and bend your knee. And you need to be turned, point, and look, and bend. So if you imagine a clock face, you are going to need to point 4 times to get round that clock face. So every 90 degrees you need to point and turn. So when you get to 6 o'clock you're going to point and turn, and then to 9 o'clock. So wherever you're pointing, your body is going to untwist to this direction, so then you have to point again to get all the way around. Okay, looking and turning. Step 2 is to then take steps. So you're going to take your right foot in and your left foot out. Have to still look where you're going, and you cannot look at your feet, so make sure that's really solid. So look, left, look, in, out. Look, step, step. Okay. Notice that every time I take a step, I'm exaggerating the bend on my knees, so it's really bouncy. So it's step, step, because you're slightly changing direction. It's really important to absorb the momentum and transfer that energy into the new direction. So you do need to bend your knees every time. So it's look, step, step. When you're confident with step 2, move on to step 3. So this time you're going to drop your right foot in front and then step out. So now when you're taking your step, you're going to put your weight in front and step out. When you take that step, feel your whole body lower down. So your whole body is going to drop. Step, step. Still can't look at your feet, you still have to look where you're going. You might want to practice this on the spot, on the grass, on a mat, something that you're not rolling first, and look in a mirror or a window just to notice that your shoulders are dropping. You can also use the shadow on the ground if it's a bright day. Step, step out. Okay, so you're dropping your weight forward and then stepping out. So it's still step, step, but this time your step is in front. Step 3. Look, step, step. Look, step, step. If you find you're not turning fast enough, you probably need to look more. So more, look, and remember just to go back a step, look and turn, okay? Step 4 is you are going to go with full crossover. So now you're aiming to cross your right in front of your left, fully across. And when you're crossing your legs, you're aiming to cross your legs at the thigh, not at the knee. So you want to cross your legs as high as possible, cross, and really push your thighs together and step out. Okay, just notice that when I'm stepping, I'm dropping my weight in front, but it's in front and across at a diagonal, and my front leg is bent, so that's the weight, the leg that's going to take the weight. My back leg is fairly straight. Step out. Still can't look at your feet when you're doing it. Cross, step out. The reason we're doing right over left is because most of the time you'll be skating anti-clockwise, but when you've got comfortable with that position, do practice the other way as well, so left over right. But we're going to focus on right over left. This way, step out. Notice that my arms are staying up to keep my chest high. Step out. Okay, so full cross now, feel your shoulders lower, and you're going to take a diagonal step. This part can take quite a few months to build up to, so don't worry if you don't get it straight away. Step watching.